With another stepping stone placed on the golden path for PLTR, the company remains well-positioned to capitalize on strong commercial and government spending tailwinds heading into year-end 2024. We continue to believe PLTR will garner an impactful share of this global AI opportunity, as enterprises and governments seek to improve efficiencies while automating complex workflows.
Tracking shares of PLTR as strong demand for its AI platform is giving Palantir a boost on the day. The company's stock and the company saw revenue jump 17% in the third quarter, boosted its outlook for the fourth quarter, now expecting revenue of $599 million to $603 million. Shares ripping to the upside right now by about 19% here on the day, but it's important to remember in context over the course of the year.
They're doing really well. It's up 177% for the year. I mean, that's if you got in on that at the beginning of this year, you're sitting pretty in terms of shares of Palantir. So clearly investors liking both how they performed and their guidance. They talked about this strong interest in AI boot camps. That was something that they talked about in shortening the amount of time of revving up training there, shortening it to days of training within AI because there's so much demand for this new frontier when it comes to this AI story. So anticipating, as you mentioned, revenue upwards of 2.2 billion, topping 2.2 billion, expected a little less than that prior. So, again, the demand picture for AI really accretive to Palantir, both in the current quarter, in the quarter gone, and the upcoming quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we continue to think about what Palantir kind of long-term is going to be making sure that they're able to do, especially with the contracts that they have more broadly here, two areas that a lot of investors here keep a close eye on, that commercial revenue and then the government revenue. The commercial revenue, that was up 23% year over year. Government revenue, that grew 12% year over year. And especially considering some of the ties that Palantir on the deal-making side have into different governments, when you have a period of geopolitical tension or conflict like we do right now, it makes it all the more interesting of a business to continue to track how they're navigating many of those relationships. But their customer count, that also did grow 34% year over year, with U.S. commercial customers up and driving that by about 37% year over year.
Yeah, and another thing, fourth quarter in a row of profitability, had posted its first profit several quarters ago, some quarters ago. So it's certainly continuing that trend.
Palantir just reporting its results. I want to get straight over to Frank Holland, who joins us now with some of those numbers and some comments from CEO Alex Karp.
Hey, good morning, Andrew. Over to you. We're looking at Palantir shares right now after a beat on the top line and a beat on the bottom line. Profit was 7 cents compared to the estimates of 6 cents per share. You can see shares are up just about 5% right now. Current quarter guidance also basically in line. This is also Palantir's fourth quarter of profitability, qualifying it for inclusion in the S&P 500. CEO Alex Karp, he told me yesterday it's very important to him because it makes the company more accessible and also widely held, as it would then be included in the SPY ETF. Karp also says that Palantir continues to work with the U.S. government, emphasized his support for Israel, and confirmed that Palantir works with the Israeli government. He added this about demand and outreach from governments. He said the rise in terrorism, it brings security to the forefront for America and its allies. The only way to effectively and ethically deal with terrorism in combat is to use software. Again, those are Alex Karp's words. Outside of government work, commercial is also the focus. U.S. commercial revenue, that jumped by 33%. Karp said he expects Palantir to be a major player in nearshoring and precision manufacturing, saying in part, we are now helping manufacturers bring manufacturing they would have done in Asia back to America, because with our product, you can build a factory in America just like it's built in Asia. Again, Palantir shares moving higher after a beat on the bottom line and the top line. Fourth quarter of profitability in a row, allowing it inclusion in the S&P 500. One other note, Alex Karp's at the UK AI Summit today. He says Senator Schumer's office has also reached out about another meeting with U.S. companies on U.S. AI regulation. Back over to you.
Frank, it is a big switch for this company, because for a very long time, people were worried about whether they were going to continue to lose money. This Absolutely. Has been, as you said, now 4 quarters of it. But I was really struck by that last sentence in that letter that he wrote. You mentioned it, but just to detail it, he says, we are one of a few companies in the world to stand up and announce our support for Israel, which remains steadfast. Palantir stands with Israel, which is a very different remark and comment than a lot of other CEOs in the West. Some have condemned Hamas, but very few have actually come out publicly and said they support Israel as a country. Right. Of course, Palantir run by Alex Karp, but backed by Peter Thiel and so many others.
Well, you can imagine that Palantir is not doing business with Hamas and helping them.
That's for sure.
Well, I just want to be clear.
What
Alex
makes
Karp
it
made it clear that they work with the Israeli government, and he is steadfastly standing by Israel. And he made it very clear in his statement to me that he considers Hamas a terror group, as does the U.S. government, to be clear.
But what makes it so interesting is they also work with governments around the world, some of whom historically have been considered allies of America, except that they, at this particular juncture and moment, some of them are not supportive necessarily of what Israel is doing or of supporting Israel per se, right? I mean, I think we've seen a number of U.S. allies not be allied on this particular issue. And so it's a very interesting thing for him to come out as publicly as he has.
Although you've heard that what they say in public versus what they're saying, intimating in private. Saudi Arabia, for example, I think they say certain things, and I think they might be less strident when they're talking to us. I think the talks could be on track still with Saudi Arabia, we're hearing. Right?
On track with Saudi Arabia to have a new partnership with Israel?
With Israel and Abraham Accords, et cetera, et cetera. I don't...
Well, you can imagine they don't want to see
the commentary and the private, but this is great
in
for
own backyard.
For Palantir to have the... I mean, there's been other times where I say stay out of things, but on this, I think it's go Alex.
Yeah.
Right?
AI monetization front and center as the Messi of AI delivers in a key quarter. Palantir delivered very strong FY323 results featuring beats on the top and bottom lines while raising its guidance across the board as the company witnesses heightened demand for its product portfolio. Across government and commercial sectors seeing 34% growth in customer count, with PLTR conducting AIP platform boot camps for over 140 companies, leading to further contract expansions among new and existing clients, as AIP continues gaining momentum by signing new logos while expanding partnerships with existing customers, as the company narrowed its sights on landing new accounts, while noting heightened demand in the government sector for PLTR's full product suite, given the current geopolitical backdrop, as the company saw increased adoption of new customers and expansion of existing opportunities within AIP, benefiting from a faster go-to-market motion, while giving customers necessary infrastructure necessary to ship production use cases faster as its entire product portfolio, including PG, Gaia, MetaConstellation, and AIP, saw heightened demand globally, and now expects an acceleration of growth given the pickup in activity at the end of the U.S. government fiscal year to improve efficiencies and deliver valuable workflows based on customer data. Palantir posted its fourth consecutive GAAP positive quarter with continued focus on investments, given its strong cash position with free cash flow came in better than the street expectations. While driving multiple seven-figure deals across 30 industries and continued velocity across the PLTR portfolio, the company has shown its ability to accelerate larger deals with shorter conversion times as enterprises and governments discover how to derive value following the deployment of AI. With another stepping stone placed on the golden path for PLTR, the company remains well positioned to capitalize on strong commercial and government spending tailwinds heading into year-end 2024. We continue to believe PLTR will garner an impactful share of this global AI opportunity. As enterprises and governments seek to improve efficiencies while automating complex workflows, we maintain our outperform rating and $25 price target.